Welcome to the show. I just want to give you a great big welcome in, and I hope you enjoy. So, my name is Randy. I like to come on here and talk about whatever reality TV show is airing at the time. And so when I say whatever reality TV show, really that is a rotation of mainly Survivor and Big Brother, because you can kind of always have one of those on at every time of the year. But now, with Traitors in the mix, you really like there would have been a gap of survive with none of those, no Survivor and Big Brother. But in January we got the Traitors, and that is carrying us over until Survivor 50 airs later this month. So yeah, I love these shows. I've loved them since I was a little boy. uh I am one of those people that love to say that I was raised off of TV and movies. It's really like my happy place. I love to get lost in the stories of the contestants on Survivor, Big Brother, or I love to just see some of my favorite people from those shows on the Traitors, or I love to get lost in the fantasy world that is the Real Housewives, and I love to see how the quote unquote rich and famous live, or just the rich live. Um, I even in non reality formats of movies and TV, I just love to escape into those worlds. And of course, like one of the other tentpoles of this type of media, of course, reading. I'm trying to get back into reading. Obviously, Taryn wrote his book. Steven has his book out, and Rob is going to release his later this year. So that's very exciting. But yeah, I just love storytelling, and I love the art form of storytelling, and I think it's very beautiful. And ultimately, I think the main thing and the main reason why I like it, or why I love it, I should say, is ultimately storytelling is a way for us to connect with one another. And I love that it can be done in such an entertaining and thrilling way. Um, there's just those things that stick with you. There's a reason why they call it like those magic moments, or the movie magic, or there's just I will never forget my uncle taking me to see Jurassic Park for the first time. That was just such an amazing experience as a young boy, and I will never forget it. It was just such an exhilarating time. And even to this day, when I go to the movies and I sit in the theater, it just takes me to a zen place. It takes me to my happy place. And it's the same thing for all of these TV shows. I just get so enamored and so immersed in the world. Those 43 minutes, or however long those shows are that I'm watching, they go by so fast, and it's just such a pleasure, and it's just such a cherish moment in a pocket of time. It sounds so silly and so trivial, but with everything going on in this world, we have to hold on to those kind of things wherever and however we can. And it makes me so happy, and I'm so proud of myself, and I have so much gratitude that I'm able to sit back and reflect and understand where and how I can find that happy place and that sense of joy, and it be something that I can hold close to me and I can access easily, and I can share not only with my friends and my family but with the world. So thank you for listening to me ramble on. Let's get on with the show. Traitors, 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 come hither. I have to say, there's a lot of talk because it's like a new show. Like, it's still airing their fourth season. The first season, it had like not pedestrians, but like normal people and not reality TV stars or like any other TV or like whatever kind of star or person that's like famous for whatever reason or notorious for whatever reason. So like throughout there have been like things that they have done to play around with the format and the game. So, there is a lot of talk about that and about how, like, of course, it's such a great show and everyone loves it, but then, too, just like so many different areas for opportunity. Not even like opportunity in a negative way where it's like they're lacking, but just like there's just so much more to be explored. But having said all of that, like, this season of The Traitors is probably my favorite season. And that's saying a lot because I came into it with one of the most, like, amazing, wildest casting picks that we could have received, with Rob C playing again. And it's so funny that he is playing with another Rob. He talked about it, how last time he played with another Rob, and that Rob became the famous Rob. And it's happening to him again in this season of The Traitors. But no, yeah, like, I love Rob, but like this season has just been so much fun. And even this past episode with the recruitment of Eric. And then we see, ultimately, by the end of the episode, Kristen is on to Eric. Eric knows, Rob knows. So it's like, Kristen is safe. Is she, like, 100% safe going into this next episode where if they murder her, it's going to be obvious. There's going to be that direct line of her having called him out. So, there's that element of the game. We also have Johnny and Tara running amok. They're just so sweet. The biggest sweethearts. You can tell how much and how deep their love is for each other. In this episode, we do see, obviously Eric accepts Rob's invitation to become a traitor, and they murder Dorinda. They murder Dorinda because she is so close to Rob. It's like, well, Rob would never do that. There's no direct line between Dorinda and Eric. The challenge where Rob and Eric really stick it to the faithfuls. And instead of answering these questions honestly, they just pick one person, Tara, and put her name throughout all of the questions. And so really, like, they're asking the faithfuls, what would the traitor say to all of these questions? They're all in a box, and the traitors get out of the box. They decide who they're going to pick. They go back in their box. Everyone reveals their answer, and then we get the traitor's answer. Finally, at the very end, they catch on and they, start to just put Tara, except for Tara and Johnny, which leads people to suspect them even more as traitors. People think either Johnny is a traitor, people think Tara is a traitor, or they think both of them are a traitor. But right now, these two are so hot. So you would think that they are the ones that get banished. Natalie is thinking that it's Steven. Everyone kind of comes around to Steven more or less in the round table, and then Steven gets banished. He is a faithful, and they are all disappointed, of course. So now, with Dorinda and Steven being out of the game, we're down to our final 8. We have 2 traitors still in the game. Of course, our only OG traitor left, Rob R. And then we have our recruited traitor, Eric. Our final 6 faithfuls in the game. Of course, we have my favorite, and I hope she doesn't get eliminated this next round because she is one of the faithfuls that is up for elimination, Natalie. We also have another TV darling, Kristen from Top Chef. Of course, we have the 2 Olympic dynamic duo team of Johnny and Tara. So Johnny and Tara are still in the game. And then our last 2 faithfuls are, of course, Mark and Moira. So, what do I think is going to happen in the next episode? I think they're going to murder my girl Natalie. I think they're going to keep in Johnny and Tara for everyone else to still suspect and to take the heat off of them during the last round table. So that's going to be the final 7. They're going to have another round table. And I really think that it's going to be easy for Eric and Rob to get Mark, Kristen, and Moira looking at Johnny and Tara. Now that I'm saying that out loud, the only hitch in that plan is if Kristen is just so gung-ho on Eric that she doesn't drop that. I could see her reeling in Mark and Johnny and Tara. So that's already 4 votes against Eric. And against Eric and Rob's 3 votes, including Moira. So this is getting dicey, but I think that if anything, that will happen and Eric will go, and then the final 6 will be left with our one original traitor, Rob. We'll have Tara and Johnny, and then Moira and Mark. Beyond that, I think I'm gonna hold off any predictions. I'm just gonna go episode to episode. But yeah, I'm loving this season. I think it's been fun the way, because the traitors have all been really great. And I think, except for a couple of hiccups here and there, Lisa and Candace played an amazing game and probably would have lasted a bit longer had those little things not happened. And as for Rob, I think he is just amazing. I'm trying to think if I was thinking, like, is he the best traitor? I know there was that whole discourse online with Alan naming Rob the best traitor, and people were like, well, what about Cirie? What about Phaedra? I don't think Phaedra is that great. I think she's probably on like a tier below him or 2 below him if anything, it would have to be an argument between Rob R and Suri. For me, is the best traitor so far. Haven't really like invested in any of the other franchises of the traitor to like argument to have like any of those like argue those winners or traitors, what have you. Thank you for tuning in to the Randy Rex show. And just for everyone out there, Randy Rex is written out like, oh, Randy recording. It's also just like a play on like Randy's recommendations. And also, it is a little bit of a play on words where it really reflects where I have been and where I'm going, in that I would always be so hard on myself, and I would always hold on to so much negativity where it would drain me, and I would have such a horrible outlook on the world and life. And so it's also a little bit of a play on words, like Randy Rex, like Randy erects things. He messes things up. Like, I am not that person anymore. I'm claiming a different narrative. And, that is a part of me being my gay, irreverent self, is it is a play on words. So just a little bit of history on what Randy Rex is, how I got my name for this show, and yeah, next time, bye. But yeah,